We have Miss Tiffany Brannon, but she's not here this evening. We have Mr. Henry Rogers, Mr. Chuck. We have Miss Karen Lyman. And last but not least, my favorite, Uncle Ben.
Two plates, Ben. Two plates, brother.
Some of you may have already noticed, but those have not been signed. We have been so busy trying to pull this together that we forgot to sign them. So we'll have a sign-up session over here. My autograph is worth a lot of money. It may be worth it. So we apologize for that, but we will sign them before you leave, or we'll see you again. Just for a few moments, I want to say that this is kind of a celebration and a sad time too. We're closing one grant, but we are also getting ready to start our new grant, which is an extension of the mentoring program. So we're going to continue what we're doing, and we're being funded. So that's a great thing, right? Also, we're going to take a 2-week mini vacation. This will be the last time we'll all be together. The last time we'll all be together until April the 30th. We're going to have a field day, a fun day, and you'll get more details about that. Right now, I'm going to ask all my Monday group to bring hot dogs and buns. On my Tuesday group to bring potato chips. My Thursday group to bring drinks. And we'll bring the other little necessities for our field day. Can we do that?
Yes.
Also at this time, quickly, we have, I don't know if you've noticed, if you read the program, on the back I have named all of our all of our mentors, our mentees. And if you notice, we have 13 children on a waiting list. So if you know anyone who may be interested in giving back some time and make a commitment to us, please give them my number or Ms. Connie's number or Ms. Lativia's number, and we will get with them and do what we need to do. Secondly, I want to recognize we have 2 mentor recruits who have done all the paperwork, who has been cleared, I think, been cleared as far as the background checks. And all they have to do now is go through my rigorous training. And that would be Desmond Little and Benny J. Smith. Would you please stand? As you can see, guys, you're in for a treat. So at this time, I'm going to turn this over to Ms. Connie Laker.
We're almost finished here because I know we're kind of getting along. I want to recognize obviously our mentoring staff. As I said in the beginning, this is a lot of hard work. Even before we got the matches, which didn't start until September, but they were already working well before that. I think they started like in June or July, where we had to get all the paperwork together, training, background checks, and so forth. So there was a lot of work even before we came together and did the matches, and that wouldn't have been able to be done without the help. There was no way with all the other PAL activities that we do that I could have done this by myself. So I was very glad when I was writing this grant that it said that I could hire staff. So it was a blessing. So we were able to, Lativia and Miss Deborah, even before this grant came, they have been dedicated volunteers for years, and so it was great to be able to have them come on board and serve as staff. And then even without funding that we've not had for a long time, they've always been here. When it goes, they're still here. So they're just very, very dedicated. We're very blessed as a PAL and with our police department to have these 2 young ladies to be a part of PAL. And so I just want to recognize Ms. Lativia Pretty. Ms. Lativia served as our assistant mentoring coordinator, and so I just would like to congratulate her for all of her hard work, and just to tell you that we really appreciate everything that you've done, okay? Thank you. Same thing applies for Ms. Deborah Lawson, who has been, I think, around probably about 15, 16 years as a volunteer. Her whole family has basically been on board, from her husband, her brothers, her kids have played. So she is like just been around PAL forever, just almost as long as I have been. So I just commend all of her efforts as serving as the mentoring coordinator. Her duties included a whole bunch of things outside of what you all seen her doing, because there was a lot of reports. Like I said, nothing is free, even though they gave us money. And this money was like from, if you all know all the things that happened the last 2 years, a lot of the stimulus money that got put back in, this was a recovery act. So President Obama put this money back in as stimulus to help programs like this be funded. But that came with a price, and that price was in paperwork. My office still shows that. So I'm hoping that one of the last duties is we can clear out some of those things, but we'll start it back again. But Ms. Deborah was responsible, and even though a lot of things that we had to do, she still ended up having to recreate a lot of those things to make this thing work, to make sure we stayed on task. Sometimes we were like, why we have to do this and whatever. She read that grant in and out to make sure all of our I's was dotted and our T's was crossed, because our names was on this, and that's not something you want to play around is with the grant. So she did a tremendous job. There was reports that were due quarterly, and she had to do those. So both of these young ladies, they both, the hours they had, but they went above that and still got those things done, because there was no way that they could have stayed within those parameters of that grant and got it done. So they still, even though it was included for them to work, they dedicated their own personal time to make sure these things was completed. So Ms. Deborah Lawson, I really appreciate you being our mentoring coordinator and taking on this task. one. Earlier, some of you all may have seen Pastor Gaines here, and Chief Beatty mentioned that we are very thankful to be here at the Andrews Center at Consolidated. Without this facility, we wouldn't be able to do this program as easily. During the week, you noticed that Ms. Deborah had said Monday group, Tuesday group, Thursday group. So they allowed us to use these facilities 3 days a week. And that included like 2 classrooms, the game room, the mentors were able to use the track, they could go in the computer room. So